It is Alyss again, and it's time for another edition of Unboxing Alyss, the purple fox that unboxes things. I'm, of course, your host, Alistair Frost. As you can see, I have a bit of a different setup. I've moved these over here so you can see them, and hopefully you can see Plushy Alyss back there. So, wave to Plushy Alyss. Anyway, today I originally told you I was going to do Persona pins. I was going to go back to 2 of those. I'm actually going to do an update with Akaso because stuff done happened. So I'm gonna just give you guys a bit of what's been going on with that. Quite a few things happened since my last video, so that's kind of why I made this update. And I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on with that. So I promise you the next video I will go back to Persona pins. So I believe last time we left my last video, literally my last video, I had just sent the Akaso keychain camera back to the company. If you do not know that saga, literally look at my last video. That's what that's all about. I'm not going to repeat it here. So I sent that back, and I got in contact with their customer service. So originally when they got back to me, they said, "Hey, where do you want us to send that replacement camera?" And I was like, "What? I did not ask for a replacement camera. I asked for a refund." And of course I told them that, and they came back to me and said, "Oh yeah, we're totally sorry. We can totally give you a refund, but we have to give it to you in like Visa gift cards, like the standard like Visa gift card things, just like 250 USD Visa gift cards." And they're like, "Would that be okay?" And I was like, no, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked at all. On that RMA form that they had me fill out, they filled out half of it. They asked me how I wanted that refund, and I told them PayPal, and I gave them my PayPal information. And on that RMA form that they partially filled out, again, they had marked refund on there, so that's why I was so confused. But I sent them back and say, "No, actually, I just want PayPal. I don't really care for those Visa cards. I know they've changed a lot, and they've gotten better since they were first introduced, but I'm still not super fond of them. So I would just rather have you give it straight to my PayPal." And I said, "Oh," they said, "Okay, so what's your PayPal?" And I gave it to them. And then they come back with, "Yeah, we're sorry. Our supervisor won't let us give you a refund. So would you like just like a replacement camera? Or would you like a different camera that we sell?" Because again, Akaso sells a bunch of different cameras. And I was like, "What are you talking about? 2 emails ago, you told me you'd give me a refund. The last email, you told me you'd give me a refund. And now you're saying your supervisor arbitrarily says no. What is this?" I was so mad when I read that. You have no idea. And there were other awful things going on involving work that day. So it was not a good day for me. But I respond saying, "Yeah, okay, that's not right. Yeah, your past 2 emails said you would give me a refund. The issue is just how. I don't understand why it's suddenly an issue now. Your customer service, again, the ones I called on the phone, so that I could get an email, or I could get an email. I could get a refund. The RMA forms, I could get a refund, and your email service themselves said I could get a refund. So that is what I want." And they responded saying, "Yeah, since you didn't order the camera directly from our Akaso store, we can't really give you a refund for that." And they said a bunch of other things. I'm not going to read you my emails, but I was like, what the heck are you talking about? If you go on to I linked in the last video the Indiegogo campaign for this camera. If you look at the creator, it says Akaso keychain. If you mouse over it, it says akasotech.com. That is their website. That's the company's website. If you click on it, it has all their cameras for sale. So that answer made absolutely no sense to me. I might not have bought directly from your store, but your store is the one that created the Indiegogo campaign. Your store is the one that is, making and producing these cameras. The fact that it's coming from a campaign and not directly from your store should not make a difference. It is the same company. There is no middleman here. So I was even angry when I read that. And going further in that particular email, they said, we won't give you the regular keychain, like the one that's busted and crappy and the one I sent back. They said, "We can give you a whole new a whole new camera. You can pick between these 3. And I don't have those in front of me. I believe they were the Akaso V Pro, I think, the Akaso V Elite, and the V something, there's some V in there, and the Akaso Brave 7. So, and you can go ahead and look at the for the sake of this email or the sake of this video, I'm not linking these individual cameras. I've shown you where Akaso Tech is. You can go on there and from the last video, and you can see those cameras for yourself if you're interested. Just in case, I look at these cameras. I go through a bunch of different YouTube videos, like a bunch of different YouTube channels that do unboxing and reviews like I do, except for tech stuff. So I looked at a bunch of guys who reviewed all of their cameras. There were a few guys, there were quite a few people that did comparison videos. So they literally compared multiple Akaso cameras in the same video. Thank you, those people. Saved me a lot of time, honestly. But and they also did individual review videos for these cameras. So watched all of those just in case I'm stuck with this. I went ahead and did that. I figured, looking at all these, looking at all the features, the Akaso Brave looked decent. It still had some issues. Anything at 60 frames per second looks like crap. I don't know why. But, that's not great. And it doesn't take an external microphone, which kind of sucks. But it was the best of the three. It was also the newest of the three they mentioned. It was also one of the two more expensive. The Elite, I think, and the Brave 7 were both $140. I paid $99 for the keychain camera. So just in case, I looked at those in case those are my options. But I did respond back to them, and I said, this isn't acceptable. This, they said they apologized. It was a miscommunication. Da 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 da. And I was like, this needs to be figured out before you message people, before you tell them you can give them refunds. You need to talk to your supervisors. You need to get that squared away. That this isn't acceptable. This isn't what a reputable company does. This entire campaign has been a huge pain in the rear close to since when it started. And I actually did a laundry list of things that this basically a summation of my first video, which I'm also not going to go into here. You can watch that video. Sorry, it's so long. But I said, none of this is acceptable. None of this is right. And I said, you need to make this right somehow. And of course, they get back to me and again, I'm sorry, or da 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 da. We don't have the clearance, da 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 da. We can still offer you these cameras, etc. and so forth. And so I'm looking around with these cameras and I'm thinking, well, I might just have to get another camera. And I will say this, not that I want to give Akaso credit for many things, but looking at the reviews for the other cameras, like the non-keychain camera, they actually look like decent cameras. They have their setbacks here and there, but for their price point, they seem to be pretty decent. No, you're not going to get GoPro quality with these cameras because they are not GoPro prices. And there was a video that actually compared the Brave 7, the GoPro, and the Oslo, I think. It was a company I'd never heard of. But it compared those three. And for the most part, the Oslo and the GoPro outperformed the Akaso, which makes sense. They're significantly more expensive. But there were a couple of things the Akaso Brave 7 did better. So it's not a horrible camera. They don't necessarily sell completely worthless products. I don't know what happened with this keychain. I don't know how they biffed it this bad. But their products seem to be okay. And the other thing being, I really wanted a keychain camera or an action camera. I mentioned that in the first video. I was really upset that thing didn't work because it was just perfect for all of my needs. And I was really excited to get it. And so I was upset that I didn't have that kind of camera. And so I'm going back and forth with them saying, you really need to make this right. And at one point, I looked at their website and looked at these cameras on their own website. And I noticed they had a new camera coming out. It is the Brave 7. The one I've been discussing, I'm sorry, I'll apologize. It's called the Brave 7 LE. The one coming out, it's a pre-order. It's currently in pre-order, and it's supposed to be coming out in April. It is just the Brave 7. No LE, no nothing else. I was looking at that camera, and that one did accept an external microphone. It has a higher waterproof rating. The one difference with the Brave series versus all their other cameras is the camera itself is actually waterproof. The others, you have to have that waterproof casing. So I thought that was kind of cool. It had a few other features really nice. I think a wider field of view and just a few steps up from like the Brave LE and some of their previous cameras. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, I mean, they already said I can replace the camera, and the choices they gave me were more expensive. So the difference between the LE and the regular 7 is $10. The one coming out is 150. The Brave LE is 140. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just lay all my cards on the table, and I went ahead and told them. So yeah, your 7 LE seems to be pretty decent. There are some drawbacks to it. So I see you have this new camera coming out. I would like to have this camera instead. In addition to all the accessories I dumped on this table when I reviewed the other one, the accessories and the selfie stick, I want all that to come back to me since it was sent along with the camera. So if you do this, and the camera works and you stand by, and if there's something wrong with it, you need to replace it or again refund me, then we will be square. And they said, sure, fine, just let us know whenever that thing, because the camera again is in pre-order, it's not currently available. Before I made this ultimatum, I contacted my bank. I wanted to have that chargeback in my back pocket. And what I didn't want to do was threaten a chargeback and then find out my bank can't do a chargeback. So I did call my bank. I explained the situation. The main thing they cared about was, do I have a tracking number for the thing I shipped? I was like, yes, I do. And they said, okay, yeah, so we can monitor this. We can start kind of opening up a claim. And this was before Akaso and I reached an agreement. This was just can they do a chargeback? Talking to my bank. And they said, yeah, we can totally do that. We have to give them time to actually receive the product, and we have to give them time to give you a refund. So we're going to contact them, and they need to respond to us, and then we'll go from there. So I did that. And so at this moment, I am supposed to get that newer camera next month, because that's when it launches. That claim for my bank is still up. I did call and let my bank know that we've supposedly reached a tentative agreement. I should be getting this camera, and if the camera works, that's fine, and everything else, then, we can drop it. They can just keep my money, because I honestly come out ahead if the camera's nice. If they refuse to respond to the bank, if they don't send me my camera, if they send me the wrong one, if they try to send me the LE instead of the LE instead of just the 7, then, the deal is off, and my money should be refunded by my bank. So I just wanted to let you guys know where that was. I don't know if that was a burning question in the back of your mind, but it was quite the saga for me. So I wanted to let you guys know how that went and just where it is right now. And so as of right now, everything is kind of pending. My bank is waiting for Akaso to respond to them. I'm waiting for my camera, which again is going to take a few weeks. It is not April yet, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how this goes. And that's another thing I wanted to let you guys know. Normally, I unbox things I've backed on like Kickstarter, pretty much Kickstarter, and then like one thing on Indiegogo. So that's generally what I stick to in my videos. Again, I do want to branch out and do I will do my unboxing Japan video when my suit gets here. I am going to try and do some Let's Plays with the games I backed on Kickstarter. But generally, again, it is something I back on Kickstarter. In this particular case, though, since this new camera will be replacing something I did back, I will do an unboxing video and review of the Akaso Brave 7 whenever I get it. So I have no idea when that's going to happen, and I will forever have a backlog of things to unbox. So I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know when it'll get here. That's probably one that won't sit. It probably won't just sit around, because I have definitely stuff that I've received for like a couple months now, that just I only can do 2 videos a month, so that's why they haven't been unboxed any faster. But I might expedite that one just because this is a very special case. But yeah, that's all I wanted to let you guys know. This saga has been insane. It really has. I've never had this many issues with a company before or product. I have never ever had to go to my bank to potentially file a chargeback. I've never done that, ever. It is not a habit of mine. It is definitely not a habit you should get into, because eventually it might not look very good for you in the eyes of your bank, and possibly it might reflect on your credit. So if you can avoid that, please don't do it. But if a company forces your hand, then that's part of the buyer protection for your credit card. This is kind of what your bank is supposed to do when things go sideways like this. So I just wanted to let you know that's what was going on. Like I said, the next video will be for Sona pins, and I just hope this saga was enjoyable, because it's been a pain in the butt for me. It really has. But I thank you guys for listening to me, listening, I guess, to my rant. And I will see you guys in the next video in about 2 weeks-ish. So until next time, bye-bye. Have a good night.